Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about one of the more fun ways there are to catch a bass. I mean, it is hand-to-hand combat, as Tony likes to say. It is hand-to-hand combat with the fish. You're pulling your boat up right to where they live. You're flipping just a few feet from the boat, and you're trying to pull in some tanks, and that's punching. There we go. Now, 90% of you probably already know what this is. 90% of you are probably better at it than I am. But it's basically fishing those real thick lily pad mats, grass mats, or whatever, where you can't just toss a bait in there without some help of a big tungsten. Now, how big a tungsten? That just depends on what's the least amount of weight you can use to get it through quick. You don't want it to sit on top a little bit and sink through. When you flip it out there, you want it to punch, hence the word punch. You want it to punch right through immediately and get right to the bottom. Then you're just lifting your rod tip up, you know, waiting for that bite. Big. So you get a heavy tungsten, a flipping hook, and some kind of creature bait. Now a lot of people like to do the smaller kind, and I will occasionally too. That's a smaller Yoder's bass bug right there. Awesome bait. And that is a missile D-bomb. It's a larger profile bait. I tend to like the larger profile baits better, but some people don't. It's just up to you. I seem to get better bites with the bigger bait, so that's just me. And then whatever hook size you need. VMCs, you got this kind of, I think that's a VMC with that different keeper there. I don't know, I'm not an expert, I don't remember all the hooks I buy, but I buy these a lot. I like that kind of keeper better. So I don't care what kind of hook you use, they're virtually all the same, except there's only one hook I've had problems with of all the brands I've bought, flipping hooks. Walmart sells a 6 cents Ox. Looks good. 6 cents is a nice brand, they got a lot of fanboys, all that stuff. They make good crankbaits and stuff, but their flipping hooks break after 1 or 2 bass. My experience. I thought it was maybe just me, maybe just one hook. No. Every time you catch a decent sized fish on one of those 6 cents Ox, their keeper here is really crappy plastic and it's not glued on, or however they put it on there, press it on, it's not on there well. So you catch a fish and that thing will just spin or crack and you can just pull it right off, and without a keeper, flipping hook is absolutely junk. So I don't care what hook you buy, I will just advise you stay the hell away from the 6 cents ones. Big, heavy rod. This is a 7.6 heavy. It's actually a Bass Pro Shops Bionic blade rod. I have this on here because I broke my favorite rod, but you don't need any kind of a fancy rod to do this. You don't need any sensitivity really. You need heavy braid, 65 pound or better. Now trust me, I argue with people online about this. I could pull anything out with 30 pound braid. All right, let me show you what happens when you use 30 pound braid. Oh, fuck. Now that happened because I had broken one of my heavies. I had 2 good heavy rides and I had broken one, so I had to switch back and forth between my heavy. I switched it to a frog. Then I seen some bass moving along the back there and I wanted to punch it, and I figured, this was 30 or 40 pound braid I had on there. So I tied a flipping hook on it, flipped it out there, it got bit immediately, and I went to set the hook, it snapped that 40 pound braid immediately, because all the torque and all the force you're putting on it, when you're fishing this way and you feel a bite, you won't feel much because you're fishing in just really shallow water. You'll flip it out there and sometimes you'll flip it right in front of their nose and they'll just pick it up and you won't even know it's there until you lift the rod and it starts to bend and you got to set the hook on it. You got to just set the hell out of it. That's a big one. Oh. I'm not. Yes. A lot of weed out there. Yeah, still that's a 3. All done. Oh.
Yes. Oh man, this is a ton of fun. A ton of fun. That might be a 4, Tom.
Now I already told you you need a heavy rod. I'd say 7/4 or longer. Easier to flip out there a little bit farther. Heavy rod, 60-pound plus braid. Don't mess around and try to get skimpy on the braid. Then the rig is simple. You got your bobber stop there, or keeper, whatever you want to call it, to keep your tungsten down tight to your hook. Whatever size tungsten you need to punch through, that's a 1 ounce. So you 1 ounce, 1 ounce and a half, 2 ounce, whatever size you need to get through, the least amount of weight you need to get through. Honestly, it's a little easier the lighter the weight, in my opinion, but you have to be able to get through. So 1 ounce typically will get most things done. Ounce, ounce and a half. Now my rig has a little skirt here. This was made by Chester. A buddy of mine gave me a tip about that a few years ago, and it works occasionally. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it works if you need to do a little something different. Then that's the old Zoom creature bait. That was working for me pretty good. And then sorry, I'm horrible at giving tips, doing the best I can here. I'm not really a fan of doing this, but there's your 5/0 flipping hook. That's the size I'm using right now. And a snell knot. I forgot about mentioning the snell knot, and I'll show you why a snell knot. A, it's a really easy, strong knot to tie. And B, watch what happens. Watch what happens to that hook. If you can see that there, see that hook's just laying straight. Watch what happens when that weight hits that hook. Boink. You see that? That thing, as soon as the bass puts tension on that, that hook is already in position to penetrate. So that snell knot's important. I'm not going to show you how to tie a snell knot. You can look that up. There's probably 4 million videos on YouTube for that. And then your creature bait. This is not one I use very often. It's just what I had that day and it was working. And you're just basically Texas rigging it. Run it up onto the keeper. And then I like to come through, me personally, no matter what plastic I'm using, because of this style of fishing, I'll run that hook about 3/4 of the way through. I still got a good amount of plastic protecting that hook point from all that thick crap you're fishing in. And you're going to set the hook so hard on this with your heavy braid and your heavy rod, you're not going to have to worry about penetrating that plastic. So that's it. That's the rig right there. Pretty simple. Takes a little bit of patience, a little bit of getting used to, and it's a ton of fun. Two. As soon as I said I give up. There's one. Yeah, buddy. Oh, God. I about killed him. That was a Fred Clare special right there. Sorry, bud. You're gonna remember that. He's not even a keeper. Dang it. When you're fishing this way, I'm not great at it, so don't take lessons from me. I'm out here practicing this, what I'm doing. You have to give it the business setting the hook. You have to. And a lot of times I'm gun shy because I'm not 100% sure it's a bite. So I won't set the hook real hard. And you'll miss fish. I've already missed 2 fish, what I think were good fish because of it. You have to give it the business. You just have to. And sometimes this thing is going to come back right at your face. You just have to be willing to deal with it. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I've caught 4 or 5 like that now. There we go. That's a big one. Oh, that is so fun. That's a big one, folks. That's an upgrade right there. Come here. Oh, that's a giant. Holy cow. That is a stud. Oh man, punching is where it's at. Easy, bud. Easy, bud. Don't hurt yourself. I've got you pegged. I've got you pegged. That's 4. That's a 4-pounder right there. That's so awesome. That's it. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully I put that together okay. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully I explained it that you could even understand it. I don't even remember now what I said. I guess doing these tips, and I don't feel comfortable doing it. There's a lot of people out there that are much better at it than me, but I try to tell you what I do, what works for me personally, the little tricks that I've come up with or that people have shown me or taught me or told me, and that's it. I just give you my experience, and you can take from it what you can. But either way, it's fun. So get out there while you still can. I should have done this a few weeks ago. While those lily pads are still nice and healthy, while those grass mats are still thick, get out there and punch around. And don't be surprised if you don't pull a 4 or 5 pounder out of there. Just be ready to set the hook. That's it. Appreciate you watching. Until next time.